What's going on, Vanquishers? My name is Charlie. I'm one of the developers and the creator of the Vanquishers TCG. Welcome to the live stream. We're going to be going through a couple of topics that we want to go ahead and discuss about our game. But before we go ahead and get into any of these topics, I want to introduce all the developers that we have that's been pushing forth through this project since 2016.
Hey everybody, I'm Jason. Know probably a few of you watching. I'm part of the development team and co-creator of the game. Basically, my direction of everything is if you need to get contact with us about anything pertaining to the game, test play, anything interactive that you want to engage with, just let us know and direct all your messages to me. Okay, I'll put my contact information in the stream chat.
Hi, my name is Jose, and I am the web and app developer.
Hey, how's it going? My name is Brandon, and I am a developer for Vanquishers, and a major contribution of mine is game balancing.
So right now we want to go ahead and talk about our hero classes. The hero classes, as you can see, this character here on the left-hand side is Saigon. This character, Saigon, is a conjurer. So conjurers in our universe, essentially that class, they're like space mages, essentially. They harness a lot of energy. They do a lot of energy damages. Their life points are typically kind of lower, but their energy shields are a lot more higher. We'll go into more detail of the energy shields and life points and defense values a little bit later once we break down the actual card. But that's essentially what Saigon or the Conjurer classes do in our universe. Over here in the middle is Cyber. She's another Vanquisher that we have in our universe. She's an Assassin class. So also we have Assassins that are in our universe. See, a lot of Assassins, they're actually like the mid-tier between the three different classes. Assassins are good for direct damaging. They set up a lot of traps, and they can essentially kill you very quickly. Of course, if you get your cards and your build is proper, that's what these characters are very powerful for. But this here is actually a Sentinel. So Sentinels are essentially our tanks. They're the strongest in our entire. As far as life points, they're the strongest. Their energy shields are pretty lower, but their defense values are pretty strong. These guys tend to dish out a lot of damage. They have a lot of abilities that can increase their life points, but also sacrifice their life points to dish out a lot of damage. These characters here, which if you notice, right here where it's Vanquishers, below that where it says Assassin Hero, her as a Vanquisher is essentially a rare card. Now this hero here, the Sentinel, right next to him has Order 0. So we have factions that are called Order members. And these Order elites work for class specifics, which energy class, which we'll probably talk a little bit more detail on the energy classes rather than the hero classes. And the major differences between an Order member and a Vanquisher is that in these lower corners here, which I'm going to actually zoom in because the actual zoom in scene here, where these gun and this sword, this character specifically would be able to equip guns and swords, weapon cards to this hero. That's the type of attachments. Whereas Vanquishers would be capable to essentially use every type and class of weapons. We get a lot of questions about that, as far as balancing, does that seem fair? And we've done a lot of testing with a lot of these cards, and it's pretty well balanced. I mean, I would put my fair share to say the odds of using every weapon type on each hero is almost nearly impossible. I mean, I don't know what you guys think. What do you think, Brandon? How have we ever truly used every weapon type and actually managed to pull any weapon types off?
Nah, what I would say, what I notice is that once you get to know a character, you kind of develop a sense of, what weapons work good for that character and, and your own personal preference. So, the sky's the limit.
All right. So, first thing we want to discuss as far as this character card is going to be the life points. So, life points in our universe essentially is your hero's exactly what it states. It's its life points. Once your life is gone, your hero's completely dead out of the game. Now, we do have two different sources of life points, essentially, which are shields. So this whole entire category here is our shield points. So these shields in the game, whenever dealing damage or getting damage dealt to you directly, will drain from your shield points. Once the shield points are completely depleted, then at that point, it goes after your life points. And your life points do not recover. Your shield points do recover. We'll explain that a little bit later on how that happens. But your shield points can recover. So essentially, you could keep getting your shields built up. That's something that you really want to kind of pay attention to on each of the actual characters, because that's going to actually determine your survivability.
And like I would say, like when you think about the shield and you think about the life, think about it like when you're playing a game and you have a shield and has so much time you can recharge it. It's like the same kind of concept in the way that we created in the card game. Like you're fighting in a battle, and then your shield gets taken down. You duck for cover. You can get your shield back a bit and fight again. So that was kind of the direction that we took that style for the card of gameplay and defense.
Below this point here would be the shields. So this here's your defense value. So in our game, we do use dice. We have weapons that targets and have targeting values. So essentially, this here, the defense value, basically, you would subtract that from the targeting value of the weapons, which we'll talk more detail on a later on stream on how that works, the mechanics of that. But this here is the actual defensive value of your hero that you want to pay attention to as well when you're looking at these cards. We kind of briefly touched on these categories here, which essentially these allows you to know when you're building your character what weapon types these heroes can use. So this here's our Vanquisher icon. We painted it green. It used to be white in the past for the people that has beta tested with us in the past that are a bit familiar with it. It used to be white. We made it green to make it more distinctive, to know that this is a vanquishing ability. In our game, we have an ability that's called V-Trigger. Each hero will have a unique ability that will activate once V-triggered. And when V-triggering, there's going to be a penalty cost for that. And in our game, when sacrificing cards, you build an energy source we call storage energy. And this here would be the cost of a storage energy to be able to activate your V-trigger.
Definitely hitting your V-trigger is a critical part of the game, so you definitely want to make sure you're stacking up your storage points and getting to that V-trigger as quick as possible so you can get up on your opponent.
So when hitting that V-trigger, these values right at the bottom will add to all the values in the actual, to your hero's values. Each hero will have this energy storage recovery point. So this goes back to when we were talking about the energy shield points. To build your storage energy points, you can recover 3 per turn at the beginning of your turn. So you would actually be able to recover your storage your energy shield points every single turn by sacrificing a storage energy point. A character like Saigon would recover 3 points. Once he would V-trigger, he would then be able to use his unique ability. With that being said, when you V-trigger and you would actually flip your card over, and all these values will be added onto it. So there's one more quick icon I want to kind of discuss for you. Down here at the very bottom, you'll notice that it's a symbol, and that symbol typically represents the energy class type hero. With a Vanquisher, you'll get the V with the star above it, but because the Vanquishers can kind of be any energy class of choice. Whatever energy class you stick onto the Vanquisher, that's the energy it uses in that current moment in combat. During combat, you'll be able to change those energy classes in the middle of the fight to kind of switch your fighting style and switch it upon another opponent. If you look over here at Raskin, you'll notice this little circular symbol with a minus. That is the dark energy class. So with being order 0 is the dark order. So he would be able to only bend dark energy. So he would use a lot of dark abilities, dark class mods that pertains to the dark class. Whereas Vanquishers can essentially use any class energy types.
And the same with like grenades. There's energy specific grenades as well.
So when V triggered, we'll flip the card over. So when the card flips, now you'll notice that he's now in a V-triggered powered mode. Like, this is the most powerful moment that your hero now at this point should be able to devastate your opponent. Essentially a fatality. Like, you really want to go in on your opponent at this point.
Yeah, I would say it's very strategic when you use it because like you were saying, you're going to be using the your storage energy points, and I'm sure Charlie will go into more specifics later, but that storage energy points you pretty much use to activate everything, your weapons, abilities, trap cards. So it's very strategic how you use them energy points when V-triggering, because once you V-trigger, you don't get those energy points back.
Correct. So you'll notice that the values instantly have changed. So when I flipped the card, it was 20 initially, but the fact that the energy shields add 1, it's 21 now. So you don't got to worry about adding that value in later on. The math is already done for you. Where his defense value was a 3, and it now added that 3 value to it when V triggered. And then his energy shield, his recovery points to be able to gain his energy shield from damage, recovers 1 more additionally. And of course, it'll signify that it is in V-trigger mode, of course, other than the artwork has changed. And at this point, you'll be able to use his unique ability.
Most weapons have a V-trigger ability, so that's another value in having your V-trigger is that, when you're using your hero item or certain weapons, it has a V-trigger category ability that's specific to that weapon.
You want to definitely try to get to that point to use those abilities on the weapons as well.
It's a high cost but high reward.
Yeah, it's just such a fun game. It's such a cool way the game plays out with the dice, the dodging mechanics, and the damaging mechanics and the recovery mechanics. I mean, it's just amazing how we've managed to take all of these abilities and make it all work into one card, essentially.
Right, yeah, so with the functionality of our cards and the way it works, the abilities on top of your strategy, on top of the risk with the rolls, makes it such a ongoing game that's like you could have this strategy, but if you don't make your rolls, if you don't make this happen, if you don't get what you're looking for in your deck, there's so many different ways that games can play out. But basic strategy and going from the point of, playing the game over and over, you get these strategies more fine-tuned as you go. So you can have initial setups, and then you're like, oh, well, I know when I fight this person, I need this setup, and these are the things I'm looking for. So a lot of the times what we're doing is fighting a battle. It's a new battle every time, almost, with your same strategy. So it's a lot of fun and a lot of in-depth gameplay in the sense of making it you're the vanquisher. You are vanquishers when you're playing this game.
The weapons itself can be modified to your liking as far as increasing ranges, damage with modifications. And the heroes as well can get modified a lot more. So it's pretty cool because we're gamers ourselves and we play a lot of MMOs. We play a lot of other games and just would have loved to have captured that in a card game because we play a lot of card games as well. And I think we nailed it. We nailed it pretty good, man, with this game. It's very unique. It's pretty fast paced. And I think we kind of nailed what everyone's going to want. If you're a card gamer and you love playing card games, you're going to love this game. If you love video games, MMO, any type of personalization to customize your own character, this game is for you. Trust me when I tell you, this game is going to be a lot of fun. So we're going to go into the board layout, which the board layout, personally, has been through a lot of changes. It has evolved, I want to say about like 6 times, maybe. From the placements, and I know it looks very chaotic at the given moment, but we're going to go ahead and go through this real quick. So your hero would be placed here, essentially, where your hero card is. So everywhere is described and labeled where to place your items. So in the fight, in the game, you can have 8 weapons in your hand, but you can only activate and use 2 at a time. What you'll see here will be the 2 slots for your actual weapons. Each hero, which this is another critical thing that you want to pay attention to when selecting a hero. Each hero will have a unique item, which you'll notice the hero item over here on this right-hand side, that pertains specifically to that hero. Usually, it goes hand in hand with their V-trigger, their energy class, or something within that nature. And it's very crazy because that's what changes the fight a lot of the times. Once you get the hero and you V-trigger him, and then he has his unique weapon that pertains to him specifically that no other hero can use but that hero specifically, it becomes a personal fight. So in the game, you'll be able to use each weapon once. In the top, you'll notice that there's 2 slots for mods. So the weapons can be modified. You can actually modify the weapon twice. So we'll go into more details on what the mods are, which are essentially a lot. But that's what makes the weapon itself personal. That's how you build it to your liking. So at the bottom here, you'll notice that there's energy and ammo slots. So every weapon will require ammunition or energy. So over here on the bottom left corners, you'll notice this little red box here is our exile pile. That's essentially what you would do to exile a card to build storage energy points. And your discard pile is utilized for anything destroyed in the game, or any abilities that you've used and you've already used will then go into the discard pile. Over here on this right hand side, this is where your entire deck would go, and we've already explained with the hero items. If you guys notice on the very top, now this is actually the thing that we take a lot of pride in, a lot of research and development and feedback from the community. To keep track of life points, to keep track of your storage energy points, and to keep track of your shield points. You'll get these little icons, these icons here with the actual starter deck. And so with these icons here, we utilize these to be able to place on the actual life points of what we have for each character. So the way this would look in real time, if you were to be playing the game, when you start the game, of course you'll place your hero here. If you're playing advanced mode, you'll place your energy class card right below him. That way it signifies what energy class he is. And then of course below that will be vitalities. Armors is another advanced mode feature, which of course armors would then equip onto the sides of the hero here, and it would increase his defense and it would increase his energy shield values. It boosts it up to increase it even higher. So let's go ahead and go into the points above the card here. So his life points will be 20. So essentially you would take this cube here and you would just place it onto the 20 slot for him. And then his shield is 20. How ironic. 20. As you exile every single turn, we've also kept the storage energy points here. So you'll be able to keep track of your storage energy points every single turn of what you have. And the way that works in our game, the cards on your hand require certain point values to play. When you use that point value for that round with those cards, you don't burn your storage energy. You just use it for the round, and then it resets back to its normal value.
But people want to know when's the launch day.
Oh, okay. So we are definitely going for March. If you go to our website, www.vanquisherstcg.com, at the very, 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 very bottom, Jose decided to put it there because I told him.
Very.
So it has the countdown clock of our Kickstarter. It is subject to change, but we know in March, we're definitely going to be releasing in March.
Yeah, there's also more information on the website at vanquisherstcg.com.
Again, we really do appreciate all you guys, all your support. I hope that you guys continue to follow us. We do plan on, we're hearing you guys. Trust me, this game has not gotten as far as it has if it wasn't for the community support that we've had. If we have not gotten the support from the community, beta testing, donating to the cause and doing what they can to help move the product. Keep in mind, you guys sharing it and liking it is helping people to outreach people that is gonna love this game. If you like card games at all, you're going to love this game, I promise you. So we'll go ahead and post out sometime this week on what the next state of the game. Every Monday, we plan on doing a state of the games like this until the beginning of next year. We may continue. I'm sure that we are going to continue at the beginning of next year. I think that's on the schedule. Jason's the one that's working all that magic. But definitely for all of December, we're going to have a state of the game, and we're going to go through reviewing the game, breaking the game down by its mechanics, and taking your guys' questions, and hopefully answering them all.
I appreciate everybody coming in today.
Yeah, thanks for showing up, guys.
Yep, just spread the word, everybody. The more we spread it, the more the world gets it, the more we can, give a whole nother universe to the world. And that's the goal,
All right, appreciate you, Vanquishers. All you Vanquishers out there that came into the channel. Appreciate your support. Spread the love. We out.